The Panasonic G7 and the Galaxy Note 5, what do they have in common? Well, rather a lot actually. To start off with, the Note 5 has two cameras, the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera. And the G7 is a camera. Number two, both of these techs are 3 years old now. And number three, they both shoot in 4K. Or at least this does anyway. This one maximum is 2K. The biggest difference between the two of these is that the G7 is a dedicated camera with interchangeable lenses and has a micro four thirds mount and sensor in it. And because it's a dedicated camera, it has all the features of, well, a dedicated camera, like a hot shoe mount, removable SD card, battery, removable one, microphone jack at the side, no headphone jack unfortunately, buttons, and camera controls. The Note 5, on the other hand, is a phone, so its main priorities are not on the camera itself. It has other functions like phone calls and texting and apps. But that being said, in recent times, and well, including this one, the image qualities coming out of these bad boys are actually very decent, and its automatic settings are actually very smart. Things like portrait mode and so on, they actually look kind of cool. But having said that, phone cameras are simplified in automatic settings for the average consumer, and 4K or UHD actually, to be more PC, it's not even political, to be more TC, technologically correct, 4K or UHD is just a resolution. And so because of that, I wanted to know the image quality instead of this 3-year-old bad boy and this 3-year-old beast, and you know, see which one came out the better. And so, without further ado, fellow procrastinators, let's find out. Alright, to start off with, let's go nice and wide. It says here insert that's what she said joke here, but I will just ignore that. Oh, don't mind the smudgy sort of lens. That's why when you look at the street lights, there are those light lines over there. Yeah, I mean, it's just fingerprints every once in a while. So this is sort of late in the evening, I think. I think maybe the sun is just about to go down, or it's already gone down. Who knows? I cannot really remember. But yeah, I just took a video of this because I really liked how the lights in those offices sort of had this convergence going on, and you could see that happening. Now I have to point out that everything I shot was in automatic on the phone, and on the G7 the only thing that I left on automatic was the white balance for the most part. As you can see here in this short phone footage, it's a bit dark and sort of rough around the edges. Literally, if you look at the Sydney Central YHA over there, the sky is exposed just fine, but everything else is sort of dark. But now going over to the camera, well, you can actually see it's a bit more zoomed in, because on the phone, when it's the most zoomed out, it is pretty wide. A lot of the times I was just using the kit lens, the 14 to 42. And as you can see, the overall image is just brighter, and the Sydney Central YHA, it looks to be much more crisp. So next up, let's go over to this sort of golden look hour sort of thing. As you can see here on the phone, what the phone tends to do is, especially during golden hour, is exaggerate the golden part of golden hour, and the sun is reflected in the window over to the left over there. And you can see all the facades of the buildings, they're very orangey. And because of that reflection, again, everything has a sort of dark exposure. Let's go over now to the G7. It feels like now things are more controlled, and the reflection in the window to the left over there, that's, you know, also more controlled. It's not being blown out. And overall, it seems to be a more flat image. Even though some may prefer the look of the phone on the G7, it's more editable, if that's a word. No, it's not. But I can go into post and then raise the saturation and then make it really golden if I want to. But as I said, on the Note 5, it just seems over-exaggerated. And again, the whole like exaggerated golden hour thing, it's the overall image is really orangey and feels too hot. Man's not hot. But another thing to note is the blurred background, or really the lack thereof. Again, I'm pretty sure I set this to AWB, which is automatic white balance. From the sheer size difference between the sensors, this produces a more blurry background. Even though I'm pretty sure this one is automatic white balance, it's still, yeah, I mean, look at it. It's more clean sort of looking picture rather than just the Note 5, which has this reddish orangish hue on the white wall. And you know, the white wall should be white. That's what white balance is all about. Alright, this one, thankfully, it didn't exaggerate the golden hour. This is where a lens hood would help, but a phone, can't really have a lens hood unless I'll hold up my hand, my palm next to it, but then my hand would get in the way. And so there's all these glares. And again, there's the lack of blurred background. It's a very deep depth of field. But overall, yeah, it's in glorious 4K. It still looks very nice. I mean, it sort of reminds me of when I did time lapses in Japan, and yeah, it's 4K, it still looks good. Practically, with the lens hood, I can block out the glare from the sun and it won't interfere with the lens, and plus I get this clean image. And plus, again, from the sheer size difference between the sensors, the Micro Four Thirds is small, but it's still large enough that I can achieve shallow depth of field with f3.5. This shot, both cameras, hold up very well in the resolution-wise. So I hope you found this comparison video very informative and fun to watch. I enjoy making these sorts of contents, and if you guys want, like seeing this sort of content, then yeah, drop suggestions down in the comment section below and letting me know, what sort of comparisons you want me to make next, and so on and so forth, provided I have the equipment, of course, or maybe I could even get them. And whilst you're down there, the subscribe button is also down there as well. So if you're new around here, then yeah, please consider subscribing. And to the old subscribers that are still around, thank you for staying on. And once you hit that subscribe button, you'll be in with your fellow procrastinators. So welcome to the family. So yeah, anyways, that's that. Thanks for watching and keep on procrastinating. So see ya. Oh, and a little trivia for where I got the idea of the camera slam from. Even back to my Asian vs Chinese video where I just slammed the Dell laptop webcam like crazy. Actually, I got the idea from a old YouTuber called Peter Chow. He always ended his video by doing that. I'm sure other people do it as well, but I like to think it's a main staple of mine as well. So yeah, anyways, again,